Okay, we're going to do a print today after the style of Albrecht Durer, but because his prints were done on woodcuts or metal plates using sharp tools, that's not going to be suitable for us. So we're going to use simple equipment, and we're going to be working with styrofoam sheets or styrofoam trays, trimming them down. So you're going to need a tray of some sort, plenty of paper, your acrylic paints, basic acrylic paints, a variety of tools or whatever, and rollers or even a sponge would work to spread the paint evenly on the plate. Okay, let's get started. Okay, so I'm taking my butcher's plate. I'm going to trim it up first of all, get rid of all the raised edges. I just want a flat surface to work on. You might be able to see, yes, I've got some dints in here already, so that's not very good because that's the side I want to use to print on. I don't print on the back because it's got the writing on there already, stamp on there, so I'm going to have to work around these. So I might actually just chop that off there and use this for a skinnier one later, but I'll just use this smaller square here. Put that aside. This is what I'm going to work with for my plate. Printing plate. It's smooth, there's no dents on it at this stage. And the picture I'm going to work with at first is just like a zebra picture. First things first, let's draw it and get started. So I want to use a pen just to mark it. I find it helpful if I'm marking first. So let's get into that part. The next part is now to use the instrument that I've chosen, which I'm just going to use a skinny brush, just a brush, use the end of it, pointy bit, and I'm going to make a dent where I want the print to show up white on my paper. So, okay, so whatever I dent in here, the ink will go over it and it won't be pressed against the paper, so it will show up white, while the color I'm going to use, and I'm using red this particular time, the red will show up wherever it's smooth, but wherever the dent is, it'll be white on the paper. The other thing is to be aware of when you're printing is that what you draw facing this way when you print will be facing the other way when you put it upside down. So my zebra head is facing this direction, but when I print it, it'll be facing that direction. If you ever do any writing, the writing has to go backwards. Otherwise, if you write your name on here the right way up, when you turn it over, your name will be backwards and they won't be able to read it. So you've got to think ahead of it. So I'm just going to do that like Albrecht Durer did. He had his little signature. So I want my signature to go something like this. Just copying his little initial style. But mine, it's a very curvy one. He had a nice A, which looks really good, and he put the date in as well. So if that's the front, then I want to go like that. Okay, so there's my little Albrecht Dürer style initial and date at the top. And if I want that to print, I will just dent that in and hopefully it'll come out all right. So we'll see how we go with that part of it. I'm not really liking this. Actually, I'm going to change. I'm going to go and switch to a pencil, I think a sharper one, to make a deeper ditch. Okay, so there is my finished zebra. Unfortunately, I made the rookie error of going over the dark lines when I actually want the dark lines to be the ones that are raised, but that's okay. As it is, I've turned it around and did a reversal. I've gone over my letters, or I haven't gone over my letters, I've gone around my letters because I want them to be raised to be the ink. But we'll see how it turns out anyway. It's always a lot of experimenting, but we're going to see how this turns out now. Get some paper, a little bit of red paint. And when we roll it, we want to spread it out quite thin, but we do want a decent amount of paint on there. So this usually takes a few turns to get your print right as well, so that's okay. You want to go over it fairly lightly, but still getting that coverage to make sure that we got the paint on there to spread. It's mostly because I've dinted in all around the outside. I don't really want too much paint on the outside. I'm not going to fuss with that too much. But I do want it on the zebra's head and on my initials that I want to print. So we'll see how that goes. If you roll it too much, it ends up thinning out. So put that one away, get a new piece. And pushing down firmly. Now the head should be going this way this time. And then my initials, I can't remember where they'll be. They might be up that corner there, I think. There we go, we got our zebra. The initials are up there. Didn't come out as clear as I want, so I'm going to try again and keep going a few times. Let's quickly chuck another one in. I might go a bit thicker with the paint this time. That's okay. Practice makes perfect. Oh, that one stands out a lot better. Okay, you know what would look good? And I'm going to show you something now. I'll try something. I'll come back and I'll try it with white paint onto or red, even red paint onto a black background. That might work, make our zebra stand out more the way it's meant to be. There we are. That looks more like a zebra. Yeah, so I'm pretty happy with that. Okay, so whether you like the white paper or the black paper, it doesn't really matter. It's important to remember that when you do make a dent, okay, it's the reverse that comes out, so be careful with your lettering if you're doing anything like that. And this is our little nod to Albrecht Durer. All right, have fun.